You realize since we hung that thing up like 10 minutes ago, it's not stopped creeping up?
It's almost 100. I wouldn't have thought it was more than like 98 though.
I'm just curious whenever it's going to stop. A lot of y'all suggested last video to put a mini split in here, some type of air conditioner, a fan, heck, even a hair dryer at this point would probably feel good. But the first thing we need to get done is these walls so that we can run the electrical, then we can install the air conditioning unit in here, which I'm hoping we can do sooner than later.
We've already run into a couple little roadblocks getting these walls put up. And when we put this wall in, we got it flush to the wall on the bottom. Notice that it was leaned out at the top. And the reason is because there's a dent in the side of this container. Now when you buy these containers, you can get them where they've made one trip, where they're brand new, where they're just worthy of keeping the wind and rain out of them. And I think that's what this grade was. But these little dents are really no big deal to us because eventually this is all going to be inside of the building. In order for us to be able to get the walls level, get them true, we have to do something about this dent. And I'm not a paint and body man, so we're going to have to dream up something outside of the box to try to get this dent popped out. And I'm not going to be whipping on it with a hammer because, I don't know, I like my ears.
That still hasn't stopped. And we're currently sitting at 101 right now, y'all. So we'll see how much it keeps going up throughout the day, and maybe it'll stop at like 120. That'd be great. Also, y'all remember a few episodes ago, I think it was like 2 episodes ago, whenever we talked about the black widows that we had in here? Well, apparently it's just the year for them because we have found so many. I just saw another one right down here in this corner, and somebody commented and said that if you actually get the anti-venom that they give you for black widows, that you can't have it a second time because it can cause heart palpitations and you end up having a heart attack. So if anybody knows if that's true or not, that would be great to leave in the comments. Not saying that you ain't right, but 100 people saying that that's the correct thing is better than one. So we're hoping that maybe that's changed since the last time that they looked up that information, but we're also just gonna have to be real careful with all these black widows.
If that's the case, I can't get bit again. I'll be a goner. Toodles, Jimbo.
So here's the spider so y'all can see him. This lighting's really not the best, and how it's positioned is kind of hard to be able to tell. But a black widow has a red dot or red dots on their belly. Yeah, this lighting's just kind of hard for y'all to be able to see it. But that's how you can tell if it's black widow. They come in different sizes, so they can look small like this or they can be blown up. And they look like a little shiny black balloon whenever they're all swelled up, filled with eggs. So if y'all see any of these, make sure to stay away. How are we going to be taking this out?
I think the first thing I'm going to try to do is put a couple of boards screwed into a couple places on this wall to get enough surface area so I can put a jack and another 2x4 and try to jack that little area out. That's what I'm going to try to do.
So push from the inside out. Too bad we couldn't just take a plunger to the outside.
Well, I'm afraid if I just put it on one spot on that wall and then try to jack this back out, we'll end up bowing that wall out. So I think if we have a couple of boards with the weight distributed over a few studs that are pushing up against the wall, maybe we can get that dent popped out without causing us any problems on the other side. We don't have too many like this. I think that's going to be a problem. But if this works, it's probably going to come in handy down the road.
You think that a bottle jack is supposed to be used horizontally and not vertically?
We're fixing to find out. Yep.
Is 77.5. So this jack was a hydraulic jack, which means that apparently it's only going to work whenever it's vertical. So scratch that one, but we are going to go look behind this old beater truck that we have, that we've been using for parts for Jim's little project, and see if it's got one behind the seat. Ooh, I can smell that truck from here.
Bingo.
Found one? Woo. Oh. Winner, winner.
It is hot in this thing. Man, it smells like, like moldy Rice Krispies.
But it's got a hint of pawpaw smell to it too.
Yeah. Well, just a chef's kiss of elbow sweat.
One more time, this truck is coming in handy, so go ahead and say it.
Well, it didn't come in clutch, but it came in jack.
All right, take 2 with the manual small jack. Okay, you got everything you need for that?
I got everything we need right here. I'm gonna turn this jack sideways. Then we'll fit in the saddle. We always do some questionable stuff, you know?
Hands up. Hey, look at that.
Have you found yourself in a situation that you're inside of your container and you have a dent? I need to get this out. Self, what can I do to get this dent out? Well, let me introduce to you the Dent Be Gone Hooters Volume 1. No, sure, you could take your rubber hammers, even your sledgehammer, one set of earplugs with some earmuffs on top, maybe some loud music, a huge box fan, other things to deafen the sound of your screams because your ears are hurting so bad. You could definitely do all those things, but no. Order now and get your Dent Be Gone Hooters Volume 1. With a quick twist of your hand, you'll never be able to find that dent again.
All right, well, let's see if this Dent Be Gone Hooters is actually gonna hold up to its name.
But on a serious note, before we go any further, just as a disclaimer, I would not do anything that we do. Really. I mean, there is no amount of PPE that would make me comfortable enough to be like, you know what, y'all should really try this at home.
I think that if people watch this, they know not to try half the stuff that we do.
Get all this slack out here in a minute.
Oh, it's going. Oh yeah, you got her. You got her. Look at that. Maybe they should do exactly what we say. Look at that. Work like a little charm.
Oh, that's so slick. That is so custom.
Custom's one word for it. Now let's see what happens when we take it down.
I think I'm going to take it just a little bit more, bend it a little further out, because it's probably going to spring back some, I would have to guess. Slick as grease.
Oh yeah, much better. Show y'all this side. Look at that dent completely gone. I mean, it might bow a little bit, but I would not call that a dent. Perfect. Now we can go on. Also, an update on my eyes from the last episode. They feel so much better, y'all. I think I really just had an allergic reaction to whatever product was in that mascara. So thank you to everybody who sent their well wishes and hope that my eyes were getting better, because the next day they were still a little bit swollen, but now they're feeling about 100%. So we're good to go back on this show. Today I am super excited to show y'all the Flexus Spot Recliner XRC5. Trust me, this chair is about to become your new favorite spot in your home. First off, this is super simple to use. Just pull this handle and lean it back, and that's it. You're in for a ride of ultimate comfort. Seriously, y'all, this chair is like a big hug. It's got this extra large seat width, and the padding on the armrest and lumbar area are just perfect. Chef's kiss for sure. Now putting it together was actually really simple. It took me about 15 minutes, and guess what y'all, no tools needed. All that you have to do is actually just snap a few pieces together and you're done. And of course, find the perfect spot in your home for it. But y'all, overall, this was actually surprisingly easy to put together. I was a little bit worried, but seeing how simple it is just to snap these pieces in place made this so quick and effortless. Now you can see here that I am going to be connecting some wires, and that is because FlexiSpot thought of everything whenever it came to the XRC5. Not only does this chair have a heating function, but it actually also has massaging functions as well. Perfect after long days of work, and nothing like a heated massage to relax you. The remote has a lot of options, so you can do different settings on the heat and the massage. You can turn the massage to pulse, you can turn it to be consistent, you can turn it just to really whatever your preference is. And also, did I forget to mention that it swivels? And that's perfect for moments that you need to grab something without getting up. Or if you need a little bit of storage, there's actually pockets on both sides. So I chose this gorgeous cream color, but they also offer a dim gray too. Lots of options for everybody. Click the link below to find out all the awesome features of the FlexiSpot Recliner XRC5. And don't miss out, use our code Cajun30 to get $30 off plus free shipping. Thank you FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Before we do any more sections of wall, we're gonna go ahead and come in here and start putting in these ceiling joists. Now, is this a necessity? I don't know. Depends if you ask me or Jim. I think that the light being held up by the little hooks on the container is fine, but I do understand that eventually circumstances are going to end up showing up that we are probably going to have to spend some time in here, given that we are right in Hurricane Alley pretty much. So Jim clarified to make sure that y'all knew it's Hurricane Boulevard, not Hurricane Alley. So most likely we are going to end up having to spend some time in here. So I think that it's just 100 and something degrees in here, so I'm just a little hot. A ceiling doesn't seem too important whenever you're scalding, but you know. Maybe it's just the northerner coming out in me. One down, many more to go. I think of that size though, that 90 across there is going to be perfect because they don't have to be tight up against the sides of the container, right?
Yeah, and they're not going to be holding that much weight, but we do need a little bit of wiggle room. I actually should have, up here on the right-hand side, I should have actually pulled that back a little bit and gave it some more slack, but oh well, we'll learn as we go. Roadblock number 2. From the years of people walking on the top of this container, now we're running into problems where pieces of the middle section is bent down. Whenever we measured the walls, we measured from the top of the plate into the actual surface of the steel on top, and still gave ourselves about a ½ inch of cushion wiggle room. We should have gave ourselves another ½ inch by the look of it. So it looks like we're going to have to break out the old Dent Be Gone Hooters Volume 1 one more time.
Alrighty. It seems like the ends are worse. Like this middle section's not bad, but here on the very ends, you can see definitely right here how it bows down. So we're gonna have a little bit of issue there, but for most of the container, the top is pretty good. So maybe once we get past this little first initial area, it'll go a little bit quicker. And y'all don't forget that there are going to be 2 more containers on top of this container.
At this point, it's probably becoming a little bit more of a clear picture of why we actually built all that structural steel outside for when we go to put the other 2 containers on top. Because we wanted to be able to transfer that load to the ground, to the concrete, on an independent structure. Now, it is attached to this to make it all one big member, but you can't just set them up there and weld them in place. Because although, this corrugation is really, really strong. It is incredibly strong. It's only good for so much.
Hey, you want me to throw this up there to you like Jen and Teddy were throwing their tools to each other the other day? Ready?
No, I'm not ready.
Would you be able to throw me my pencil?
Yeah. Come on. You could have caught it.
I think that's a little bit too much for expectation. It's finally dried up enough around here so we can get some hay cut and some hay baled. Hay season's always a bittersweet time of the year because it's going to be extremely hot, hard work, but on the upside, it's one of the most visually rewarding things that we can do. You take these thick, overgrown fields, cut it, let it dry, bale it and clean it up, and make these fields beautiful and green and lush. I will have to say though, having big red this year for hay season surely makes this task a lot easier. Some of my fondest childhood memories circle around these old hay fields where I grew up. It was always a place where you could count on family to come in and help out when it was time to bale hay, and we hauled a lot of it. From pulling pranks, to rolling people over the hay bales, to throwing cans of water on one another, and just having a good time is some of the best family memories that I'll ever have. Nowadays the process has changed so much. You no longer need a truckload of teenage kids to be throwing square bales and stacking them on a trailer. But I'm telling you, with every lap that you make around these hay fields, it just brings back a flood of those old memories, and you'll get lost and not even realizing where you're at sometimes.
Yesterday, while Jim and his brother were getting all this hay cut, I came out here and I fabbed up all of, what 2x4s we had left. So I got everything cut up. I got it all labeled with some studs, some floor plates, some ceiling joist, all the goodies that we're going to need to make it fly through today, because we're sitting at a whopping 99 right now.
That's not too bad. We ain't even in the 3 digits yet.
So before we go to start this next section of wall, we actually need to lay out where this door is going to be.
We want to put this door in the center of this wall of this container. Now, what I mean by center is center where it makes sense, because we're going to have to frame this thing up out of metal, and then install a door. We have a certain type of door that we're looking for that we're going to put in here that's going to make it really rigid, really strong, and help give it that watertight seal.
Now, I know a lot of y'all asked, why aren't we putting the door on one of the ends? Why don't we stick it on the end that we just did over here for all where the electrical is going to sit? And we're going to get into all those details whenever we start actually putting this door in, because it'll make a lot more sense whenever we can actually just show y'all why.
We want this door to fall out correctly with the corrugations. We don't want one corrugation stuck out, one going in, and us have to build up one side, let the other end sit. We're going to have to try to move it back and forth to center it to where it makes sense in alignment with these corrugations.
So first thing this morning, we're going to get out here. We're going to start laying out for this door then. Center would technically be about the 20-foot mark, but like Jim said, we're just going to kind of play with it and see what works. We actually don't know what size door we are going to be putting in here. We know what style door, what we need it to have included on the door. We actually don't know the specific size yet. So being able to lay out this center, we can do a little guesstimation of what we think it would be about and just make sure not to put studs in those areas. That way we're just not wasting material. So now that we've got this center, which is located right here, we're going to be able to mark over and see if we're able to put one more stud wall in here and then start rolling. It might seem a little odd that we're starting on this end with the ceiling joist, because I would have thought that we would have started down where we left off. But these stud walls aren't screwed to the ground. They're not screwed to the ceiling. So they're starting to bow a little bit. But putting those ceiling joists in is what holds them straight and keeps that distance in between them. So by starting on this end this time, it's going to give us that good distance, and the other one should just fly through. Not only is putting a lot of these studs in place on the agenda for the day, but Jim needs to start getting all these hay bales picked up and get stacked and ready for delivery.
even with this little high volume fan we got going in here, it's still well over 100 degrees. So I don't know. I think we're probably medium well, something like that. So the air conditioned cab of that tractor sounds absolutely fantastic right about now.
Hold on when you need a friend, I'll never let you go again. Reach out when your mind's uneasy, 'cause I'll understand. Hold on when you need a friend, I'll stay here to the end. Get up, don't hang your head, we'll take it step by step. Now I'm living in a matchbox. All this time, all it needed was a little spark. Give me my heart back, 'cause somebody stole it and put it in your head. Give me my heart back, 'cause somebody stole it and put it in your head. Give me my heart back, 'cause somebody stole it and put it in your head.